to the audience that has something. So if we're talking about something like free will, it has a very, very well-defined set of things that you go through when you're thinking about it from a philosophical or biological point of view, or even a physical point of view. But these also overlap and affect the more traditional religious aspects of this. So it's inevitable that this is going to spill over. And the whole idea of talking about these topics is to eventually cater to the audience in a way that would present these ideas in ways that can relate to their own worldview as it stands right now. So that's definitely the case. It's not something that's just a philosophical debate or a scientific debate that stands on its own. There's obviously a very clear connection here.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about how Muslims in particular think about free will and how it applies, because the Quran talks about it directly. It's on their mind.
Yeah, and the Quran is very conflicted about this whole idea because on the one hand, you have exactly that kind of parallel with the dilemmas that you have with free will. In fact, there is a whole debate at the beginning of Islamic history about whether humankind is musayyar or mukhayyar. Musayyar is basically determined or having their actions determined, and mukhayyar is having the ability to make choice. Because there are verses in the Quran that say things in this direction, things that say things in the opposite direction, and it's very hard to make sense of both, which is actually very similar and parallel in many ways to the debate that happened in the Christian world about what sort of role God has. If God is the source of morality and God is going to hold you accountable for whatever you do, and at the same time you're able to make those sins, you have the freedom to do those sins, is he then determining those or not? They have a getaway for this. It's not that they have.
Yeah, so I want to talk about what they call mental gymnastics about all of that, and I want to talk about the psychology it causes for people to have this, not just the Islamic version or versions of free will and punishment, but also the broader everyone else's conception, which slightly like the Islam's one. I think there's plenty of atheists also have a very similar conception to the Islam free will and punishment, and viewing yourself. I'm a bad person if I do X, Y. You know what I mean? Rather than how can I improve? How can I make progress from where I am right now? Anyway, I didn't want to get into details. So anyway, all those topics are going to get into here now. Some quick logistics. There's going to be times where we can't do Monday and we push it off to Wednesday. I don't know if you know this, but YouTube lets you reschedule. See, I'm going to be, I think I got to figure out the logistics. I'm creating it in StreamYard, but it's just displaying it on YouTube and I'm not doing anything else.
Okay.
Because I like StreamYard's recording platform and I don't like YouTube's. Maybe we should switch to YouTube. I don't know. But anyway, it's going to be on YouTube. And then
I feel that many people who actually prefer to use Facebook for some reason use StreamYard, but people who use YouTube directly or without anything else, they seem to be using the platform directly on YouTube. I'm not sure.
All right, I guess I should do some more testing. It might just be simpler and easier for us to use one system instead of two and just do YouTube. And then I continue doing all my other stuff in StreamYard. Anyway.
But you started talking about this in terms of the scheduling. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so I guess option, the plan A is Monday and then plan B is Wednesday. Is there a possibility we can't do either?
So Monday, almost every other Monday, I have something that starts later in the evening. So usually that's not an issue. It's only rarely that I have something on Monday in the time where we're recording. Wednesday is a little bit more difficult because I have things that come in and out, and so having an actual free Wednesday is sometimes problematic. Last time it was the case, but it's not. I cannot guarantee
I guess
that.
worst case scenario, we would be rescheduling to Monday, the following Monday, and then basically one got missed.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but after this, for me, after this quarter is done, which means at the beginning of the new year, I'm going to have a new schedule, and my schedule is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this means I would be free Thursday and Tuesdays.
And I guess people are going to expect that we're going to be changing it occasionally. We can't change it too often, but it sounds like maybe once a year we'll be changing it.
Well, once every 4 months for me.
Once every 4 months. That's not too bad. People will get used to it. It'll always be 2 o'clock probably. So it's either Monday or Thursday, 2 o'clock. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
And YouTube's got a notification system. So you notify me means that if we reschedule, they'll get notified. So that's good.
So if there is a rescheduling, does that interfere with YouTube notification?
I think what happens is I did it before and I don't remember what the result was. I think what it was, I was able to reschedule in YouTube and ignore StreamYard. And StreamYard just had bad information. That's all. Right. Like it kind of broke the connection there, but it's still, I don't know. I'll figure that out too, I guess.
So for right now, when you're recording this, I'm seeing the StreamYard logo, which I'm assuming that's because it's a free version and there's no branding and things of that sort. Is that appearing also on the eventual thing, or does it let you download the video without it?
You can download it after. No, it's not without it. You would have to do stuff to erase that or put something over it.
Right. But what I'm saying is the stuff that you're uploading right now on YouTube that started from StreamYard, is it having that logo?
Yeah, all my stuff has the logo right now, and I'm not doing any work to cover it. I don't really care. It's a fucking nonprofit. Everyone knows we're poor.
Okay.
So, okay. I also want to warn people ahead of time that this is a possibility, you know, and I don't really know the best way of doing that besides occasionally we say it on stream. I don't think it makes sense to here. Let me open up something for you. So there it is. That's the YouTube. That's a link I made from StreamYard. See that live in 21 days. I just picked a random date. I'm not trying to honor this. Okay. I want to plan this with you, obviously. So somebody can click notify me and it'll do what we need. So this is the topic. I just picked one as the first one to start with because I know people a lot of people are interested in that. And then there's the name of the, you know, the series -- episode number.
So
I put a little description, and then here you have something to say real quick. I got more to tell you.
No, I was thinking that since you have a description, maybe you can edit the description if there's something that needs to be modified. I'm not sure if that's helpful to the people who might be looking at the thumbnail, or if the thumbnail itself can be modified if there's some kind of a change.
See, none of this information is specific to an episode, so no changes there. If we change, you know, the day, we'll be changing that.
Okay.
And I don't know how we could add it. There just really isn't enough information. I think it's okay to not, and I don't really want to make extra work for myself.
No, I understand. I'm just thinking about ways of if there's a kind of a change, and you were talking about the notifications, is that something that gets pushed to the people, or they don't know
Yeah,
about
that's
it?
what I was saying. I went and Googled it. It says if you click notify me here, it lets you know if we change the schedule.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then it lets you know when it goes live. That's the point of the notify me too. So there's 2 links here that's going to be under each one of these. To suggest topics for future live streams, submit your ideas here. Share this tab instead. So here's what it looks like.
Nice.
Here's the same thumbnail. And then you could click here to see our current lineup and past episodes, which isn't listed here. And then, so let me click on that and show you. So the same thumbnail, and then current schedule with a link to take you to the YouTube link.
Okay.
And then this is like notes for us of stuff we're going to do, which will probably be a Google Doc with more links in it.
I like it. Yeah.
Jump to past episodes. This just takes you to the bottom. So past episodes will be listed here. This jumps you back to the top. And then this is like a mess of topics that you and I are organizing. Or, I mean, so far it's just me.
Is that something that needs to be visible to people who might be clicking on this?
I do, and that was the point actually, because it tells them go see it right here.
Okay.
Oh, right here, it tells them go see that. The current lineup of
Okay.
Yeah. And then what topic would you like us to discuss? And the point is some new topic you want. And why is this important to you? This one's not required. Next is if you would like to call into the live stream, please submit a request here. It also shows it here. Right here. Okay. And that takes us to another form, which I'll show you right there. Okay, so this one requires your email. The other one doesn't.
Okay.
This one requires your email because we're going to be discussing, like, for one, when we're going to talk, whether we're going to talk. I don't want just random people, right? They're going to have to pass a filter.
Yeah.
What topic would you like to discuss during your call-in? Why is this important to you? What's your YouTube handle so we can identify you when we find you on YouTube? And maybe other stuff.
I think that's probably sufficient information to cover what you would need from people who are calling in.
Yeah.
How often do you get requests from people for something like that? Is that a feature that you heard people in your discussions ask for?
Well, I've been watching a lot of Apostasy Aladdin, and he has call-ins out the wazoo, and he has topics for call-ins on every episode. Okay. For this episode, I want callers that have this context. And then there's people who want to call in. And it's like, hey, can I call in about that, even though I'm not exactly that context? And AA will be like, well, not really sure. And you know, he changes it as he goes. And then if you don't get enough callers on a topic, he switches it up. I'm learning a lot from watching him do it.
Okay.
Same thing we're about to do, except 2 people. And he does also have a duo with with one other person, but he's oftentimes by himself live streaming, and sometimes he live streams with the other guy.
Okay.
I want to do a lone live stream, but we will have to if one of us is not there.
Yeah.
So it might be me or it might be you, which means you're gonna probably have to practice an episode or 2 or 3 with me in the background before we let you off on your own without me.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And you know, just to say, I'm sure it's obvious to you, a big part of the success of this particular project is going to be the regularity of it.
Yes.
People will forget us. People already forgot me and the live streams I was doing, which was like 2 or 3 or whatever. They forgot me. You know what I mean? Anyone that was interested, they forgot.
No, I understand. I've seen that before, and especially at the beginning, it's really important to adhere to regularity as much as possible.
So by the way, I don't want to rush into this. Maybe we start in January and be like 2025 is when we start. That gives us a couple of months more to, like, I don't know, plan, think about it more, figure out if another day was better. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's also possible. Now,
part of it I can't even see, by the way, because it's your schedule that we're depending on, and I don't really know.
yeah. So if you want something regular for something longer than 4 months, let's say something that's half a year, that could be.
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about changing the day of the week. What I mean is, like, we were going weekly and then we missed 2 weeks in a row.
Okay, so here's a reason why I could miss something like that. If I have exams, usually these times get quite hectic.
Okay.
If we have
then I'll do it by myself. So
right,
I guess I don't know why I'm worried. The point is, both of us would have to not be able to do it.
right. So here's the thing: if I have a well-defined plan ahead of time, knowing, for example, this week we are going to be considering this or that topic, it could be possible to make plans ahead, so that even if that week is very busy, it might still be possible to do something if some of the work has been already done earlier.
By the way, I wasn't expecting you. I guess I didn't tell you this yet. I wasn't I was designing something where you wouldn't even have to put in any extra time besides showing up for the 2 hours.
No, I understand, but for me, there are some topics that are really important for me personally, and I would like not only to present them the best way I can, but also would like to research them a little bit more so that I can also learn.
Okay, well, that's a different aspect of things here. Yeah. So all those topics that you saw in that spreadsheet, those are, things that are going to turn into episodes. And each one of them probably deserve like a few minutes of talking between us, just to explore, for you to know what I was thinking with those 4 or 5 words that I put there. And then for both of us to explore where else it could go. And then from there, you could go on your own, do whatever you want, and bring it to the meeting.
Right.
So
yeah.
something we could do is, at the end of every live stream, either on the stream or off of it, spend a few minutes discussing topics and what we're going to do the next episode, the next episode, the next episode.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's really cool is that's kind of, this all just evolved from what we've already been doing for Uniting the Cults meetings. All we've done different now is throw on top of it a whole bunch of marketing.
Yeah.
But it's all the exact same physical schedule that you and I are doing. Like,
the
logistics is all the same in the background. Meetings, recording it, and then actually it's even better now, though, because I won't be editing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is harder, but better, because I'm not editing. Like, it takes for every hour that I recorded, it takes 2 hours to edit and put it out. That's
I know editing is hard work. Sometimes you eventually get a much better product in along the way, but very often it's just tedious work that takes too much time. And if you look at the way that people used to do live TV, the one where you're actually on the spot, having to do whatever you have, and however it comes out, it's going to come out that way. That's something that people have lived with, and it does require developing certain skills for making sure that
and the audience expects something different too.
Yeah, and also the fact that you have that idea of a live being there. There's a kind of a spontaneity that would make the broadcast interesting to watch. Because if you're just doing something so scripted, it's going to be so boring. If it's heavily edited, that might actually appear a little bit. So sometimes people over edit, and it shows. I'm not specifically talking about you, but I have seen really bad editing that makes the thing unwatchable.
Okay, so what about Arabic speakers? Arabic only speakers.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
What if one of them wants to come on the show? Are we allowing it? And now they have to talk Arabic with you.
Right.
And I'm sort of kind of following along.
Well, I think the people who might speak Arabic are not going to be completely oblivious of English, or they would have some ability to understand to begin with. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to get interested in this whole thing in the first place.
Okay, so maybe we can just wait till this becomes a problem. You're saying this is a non-issue.
Yeah, I'm not unless we specifically start targeting Arabic audience by producing, for example, thumbnails in Arabic, which might be a little bit misleading. Then I don't think it's basically
so. For example, there's no reason to take our thumbnail, add a little bit of Arabic in there to attract some Arabic people.
It's possible, but from what I have seen. From what I have seen, the things that have been posted on our group on Facebook, it really attracts so little attention because of the fact that it's not in Arabic. So it's very hard to get people interested if they don't know the language. And putting this in English is going to be its own filter. It's going to filter for people who speak some English.
Well, if you notice, the Quran image that I put didn't even have Arabic on it. It's just the English translation of it.
Yeah.
So is that the right choice, or should I have shown the Arabic version image of the Quran on the thumbnail? Put a pin in it. Think about it.
I don't know, actually. I when I looked at it, I thought, yeah, when I'm looking at this cover, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't evoke the image of the Quran. The image of the Quran I have in my mind is the traditional one that has Al-Quran Al-Kareem in the middle of.
Do you think we should switch to that one? I just picked a random one on Google.
Maybe, and then that could interest people regardless, because here's the thing: people who never actually read Quran in Arabic, and they always have this side by side translation. I don't know. They have a very different view of the book because they are so dependent on the translation. They don't actually have that sense of there is a kind of an almost automatic reflex that happens in the mind of a Muslim when they see that cover. And when you put a kind of a generic cover like this, it could be any other book in principle. So maybe it's worth changing it. I don't know.
If you get a chance, find what you think is the best Quran book image we can use, and send it to me. I'll put it in the thumbnail. Other than that, as an episode, I wonder if we should see. By the way, I want people to understand that at least you have a strong command of the Arabic language, and part of what our live stream is somebody that knows actual Arabic, okay, rather than just somebody criticizing Islam who can't even read the Quran.
Right. So
which by the way is me.
Let me give you an example with the issue of translation. So many of.
Well, let me finish what I was saying.
Okay, go ahead.
So what I wanted to say was, we'll probably at least do one episode where we showcase that your skill set of, like, let's say analyzing one ayah in a surah. One. And part of what I'm thinking about when I think of that is there's another guy that already does a lot of this, and I don't really want to step on his toes, and I want to ask you what we should be doing about this. Wissam Hassan, he does that. He has a series called something like Reading from the Quran. I don't know the name. I forget the name in Arabic. Okay. Oh wait, we're doing it in English. He's doing it in Arabic. So there's no competition, really?
Well, if he's doing it in Arabic, that's a completely different thing then.
Yeah, he's doing it in Arabic. So it's different. But I do want him on our show.
Right. So what I was saying, given that situation, what I was saying is that so much of the controversy that I see happen amongst people who deal with the Quranic text in English has to do with, oh, which translation are you relying on? This translation has this little nuance that says this, but this says something completely different. And so they treat the translation as if it's the actual text itself, and that
That's
removes.
mostly what I would like you to talk about, which is like the philosophy of how to interpret texts.
Yeah, that's definitely
So
something
that would be part of what you'd be doing.
Yeah. And so talking about certain problematic verses of the Quran and going back to the original Arabic and referring to the original exegesis that has some of the older things is very important and not very accessible to people who speak in English.
So, next topic, or are you still on that one?
No, that's. I mean, it's something that can have a lot of things, but it would also be great once we start have a context. We are referring to this particular verse. Let's talk about it. That would be something to elaborate on. But I think we can move on now.
And we could do it by topic. Like let's say we're talking about wife beating, then we go get the verse for that. We're not randomly going through things. Okay, so this is a draft of an announcement about our live stream. I just made it this morning. It's really quick. Read this real quick. Tell me if you like it.
Yeah, looks reasonable.
Okay, and then link to the first one, which is that YouTube link. Link to first live stream scheduled. I just picked the date. When do you think we should really, like, when? How far out do you think we should pressure ourselves?
I mean, the 18th seems to be reasonable to plan something inaugural, but unless we have a couple of episodes planned ahead, more or less, or at least
I think I already do. I think we have the next 20, 30, 40.
Right, but this is talking about the topics generically. I'm talking a little bit more detailed views. What sort of thing are we going to be doing for that, and how it connects with the next one and the one before it? Do we need to?
Well, I mean, we could do a whole meeting just on that if you like.
Yeah, that's possible, and I think it wouldn't
maybe
hurt
next meeting
if the next meeting is going to actually be an initial planning for this first live stream, maybe talking about.
Maybe the first live stream should be us planning what we're going to talk about, or is that too much? Because we can also let people tell us by calling in or just chatting with us, because it would be live, and tell us live what topics they would like us to, while we're discussing what topics we're going to talk about.
Let's actually have one first meeting,
okay.
Just the two of us, and then the actual first live stream could contain that, building on some of the things that we have talked about, just the two of us, so that we can. So, for example, if we have certain certain issues that we come across, these can then be elaborated on a little bit more. I know that when we stumble on something the first time, that's the best time where some brainstorming could happen. But at the same time, it could be just a kind of an aimless groping in the dark at the beginning. So if you want it to be a kind of an inaugural broadcast, that might not be the best way to launch the project.
Well, what would be the appropriate stuff to be in an inaugural broadcast? Because, by the way, what I was planning wasn't, hey, this is our birthday, thank us, or something. I was just going to go right into the fucking episodes as if it's any other episode.
Yeah, so if an episode that's filled with planning and talking about what we need to do might give the impression of still not knowing where this is headed. And I'm not sure if I were watching this, I would say, okay, that's interesting. I could look at the next one, but I would be expecting a little bit more from the first one. So you just said getting right into it and talking about some actual topic, that itself requires a little bit of planning, and that might be what we could be doing at the beginning. So maybe what we can do is offer a kind of a what you might expect from the beginning of a series on TV, a pilot of sorts, and then to mix it in with some planning about what can be done going forward. I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't know. Here's what I thought to tell people the aim is. This is me trying to do some marketing. You don't want to put too much information. Real simple. What's our aim? To help people before and after Islam, but also I'm going after people that are not in our bubble to help the world better understand Islam, Muslims, and ex-Muslims. So like ex-Jews, Jews, Israelis, Americans, all of them.
Yeah.
Who want to understand Islam better. So by the way, I have a draft ready for the ex-Jew subreddit, and I'm going to do it to the ex-Christian subreddit, and just every fucking thing that would be I mean, this covers the whole world. This is just, I just divided the whole world into two groups right here.
Yeah.
How to get involved. Those are the 3 links you already saw. This is the list of topics, suggest a topic form, request to call in form. And then at the end, this is part of a nonprofit called Uniting the Cults. Learn more. This takes to the website. And then they can fill themselves in on all the other stuff we've been doing.
Wait, the request to call in and learn more, you said the website, but it's actually going to YouTube?
Oh, oops. Hold on.
And maybe you can check all of them just to make sure, because request to
I
call
always
in.
click on all these. Test click them. I don't know why I didn't test click that one. Anyway, I'll continue doing that. So what do you think of this? Any ideas for improvements? And by the way, when this shows up for people, it'll take the image of the first link, so it'll take the thumbnail.
Yeah, that looks great. I don't know if the 18th is the date that we agree on.
Well, here's what we could do. Let's wait until we have the next meeting where we're establishing topics, and let's be comfortable on that before we schedule it.
Okay.
And I won't announce it until we schedule it. So let's just put on. I don't want any pressure on both of us, So putting a pause like this, you're putting what is it, like a bottleneck? What do you call the waters? That throttle? Throttle's not the right word.
It is.
I don't have enough engineering words. That's the problem with physicists. They don't have enough engineering words.
No, it's a good idea to wait for a week so that we can have a better idea about where this would be headed.
Yeah, and that's all I had to discuss.
Okay, so can we go back to that list on the Google Sheet, please?
Yes. Let me. I shouldn't have closed it all. Where am I going to find it? Let's see. There it is. Okay, now I have to present again. This link?
Yeah. So let's look at the very first topic, the first couple of things that would be.
These are more categories than specific episodes, but they could be episodes.
Okay. As categories, it means that in a given episode, you could actually be mixing several things together. And it seems from what you mentioned, the future of Islam seems like a very hot topic and suitable to talk about at the beginning, like the opening of what this project looks like, maybe.
Yep.
Okay. So maybe then thinking about the the main highlights and collecting a few highlights between now and next time before we meet to see how my list maybe compares to yours, what sort of overall general direction we have.
So to give you an idea of what I'm doing, so that first here, let me show you the first one right here. I put a link, right here, which was like the thing that got me thinking about this topic. So that would give you context of why I cared about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd have to, let me show you this again here. You'd have to, so that takes you to my comment. So you'd have to look at the thing I'm replying to. You would read this and read my reply, and you get an idea of why I think this thing matters. Of course, there's other ones. This is not the first time somebody brought up, the future of Islam. It's like one of 10. But this is like one of the ones where I said something different or had a different perspective than before.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, what I remembered was this basic thing of, and I told you this, and I remember getting angry on our meeting. I said, people talk and think as if the future is already written, and they even form their questions like that. What is going to happen to the world with respect to Islam in the future? Meaning, like, what has already been written by God or somebody? Our actions matter. That person's actions matter. And the aggregate of our actions is what's going to cause the future. And that's what this little comment made me think of when I made it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I talked to you about it last time, and when I talked to you about it, I actually said it better in that version than right here.
So we do have a kind of an initial take on this in that video, where we discussed some general ideas about the future of Islam, and we started off with an idea about giving that person the white pill that they were after, and then things were not as optimistic as was expected or hoped for in terms of
we did talk about it, and unfortunately for us, for the both of us, I put a chapter for it, so it's very easy to find. Oops. Let's see. Go to videos on my podcast, and where did we discuss it? Oh, I didn't publish this yet because this was the part of our meeting which I haven't published yet. Anyway, I'll work on that. I'll get our video, and then I'll link it here. And are you suggesting we might play our video, or just remind ourselves of our notes?
It's just going over that for ourselves, or maybe giving that to people as a kind of a preview to whet their appetite, to have them come up with ideas if you want to put it in that context. Otherwise, it can just be for our own use to see what we have.
I mean, the quickest thing I could do is throw it on a website and do a AI transcribe, and then we just look at the transcription, and that's the quickest thing we could do.
Yeah, that's possible.
We'll start with that, and then we'll go from there, I guess.
Because eventually, since we have interacted about this, I think whatever interaction that we had is going to come up once again during the talk. And so instead of just repeating ourselves, we probably need to think offline about, okay, what did the other side say about this? Is that something I can elaborate on? Is that something that needs something further? Should we steer away from that direction?
So while you're doing all that, you're just taking a few notes to remind yourself for when we're meeting. And I guess I have my own notes, you have your own notes, and we
Right. So I think that would make it more constructive and hopefully maybe actually makes us ready to engage this more fully.
And to be clear, it's probably fine if that's only happening with one person, and it's fine that it's even better if it's happening with two people. It'll probably be bad if neither of us did it.
No, I want to remind myself of what
we can still wing it.
Yeah.
What did you say?
So I would rather remind myself of what we talked about, but winging it, I would prefer not to do that.
Yeah. But okay, so here's my point though. If the time came where something screwed up, where the universe put the conditions in the right place. Remember, we don't have free will. So and what happened is we weren't ready. I think we should still do it.
No,
and it'll be different.
So I remember I used to participate in it was actually something that was broadcast on cable TV when I was in Tennessee. It was called Free Thought TV. Free Thought TV. And we would have every Tuesday there was an episode. This was right after the Reason rally, if you remember, in 2016 in DC. And I came back with others who went from the group to the Reason rally, and nobody else other than me showed up. And I had to improvise several things. That was a very awkward episode that I hope doesn't repeat. So I'm saying that winging it is not an issue, but sometimes if things are not really great, it can go bad.
And here's the thing too, like suppose it is one of those episodes where we are winging it. One person could be talking while the other person is putting 100% of their attention on planning that episode. Go get the links, get some notes down while the other one's talking, maybe going through some we'll have repeating what's the word I'm looking for? Prompts to give people. Hey, if you like this show, please hit like, all that crap. We'll have a spiel that we give that buys us time. I learned this from Zorro. I found out Zorro asks dumb questions because during the dumb question, he's delaying the something, and he's just kind of, and he goes, "Oh, you mean like Americans say We just say He asked dumb questions.
Okay,
I
so honestly, I don't think we're going to get to that point. I'm sure it's always possible to put something that's intelligent and cogent, and but what I'm saying is that it might not have the same effectiveness or the same impact that it would have otherwise.
So we'll apologize to our customers, and it'll be fine.
Okay, I don't think we're going to get to that point, but the point here is that we need to put some effort in planning, and I'm sure that given that this is being supported by two people, if one doesn't have the ability to do something at a given time, the other person would be able to fill in.
Cool. So that's it, I guess. No more to talk about.
Yeah. So as soon as you have access to that transcript for that video, the one we talked about, the future of Islam, that would actually be a very good starting point, I think.
Let me leave myself a note right now, a reminder to even get that done. Instead of expecting to remember it. Okay. Get clip to Usama, and what was it about? It was not free will, it was the future of Islam stuff.
Yeah, I think we talked about several things then, so it's probably not just that single topic.
Well, I mean the part about it. I want to cut it up.
Yeah.
and get it ready, and then transcribe it and stuff.
I forgot. Was that last time we met or the time before
I
that?
think it was the last time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the last time.
Okay.
If I don't find it in it, I'll find it in the previous one. I'll find it.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that definitely would be very helpful. And what I might do is just based off of that, I'll see where we actually focused our discussion, and then maybe try to think about elaborating that, going a little bit deeper, thinking about alternative ways of approaching the same topic. That way, to enrich this.
And I do that all the time when I'm editing. I'm noticing new connections, and then even before I finish editing them, I already shoot off 2 more emails to somebody, or saying, "Hey, I think I have another idea for a podcast." By the way, I have Ellie Schragenheim on my podcast again tomorrow.
Oh, that's nice.
Because me and 2, I think I already told you, 2 guys talking about TOC. Another one is a Jew. All that. So I have him on tomorrow. I forgot what the point was. my brain reset a little bit. So that's it, I guess. We always talk about my stuff. I know there's stuff on, like, is there anything you want me to do regarding my mom's website stuff?
Most of that stuff is basically on hold until I finish writing a few things.
Okay.
So right now my plan, because I'm really being pushed to just finish with this, people are saying, where the hell is the website, what happened, why aren't you publishing that?
Okay, so you're putting everything on hold except for that website. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is, for now, I will publish this as it stands, and then in that place that I put there's an empty page that was for Raghad's work. I'm going to put coming soon, until we actually have something proper. I don't want to just put anything that's not suitable. So
Cool.
just to get it up online as soon as possible, and I'm hoping that I'm done with that before the end of the year.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it then.
Okay.
See you next week, man.
Okay. See you then.
All right. Bye-bye.